Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. I know I haven't been on here consistently in a while, but life just happens. I am enjoying the new married life and just focusing on my mental health in school and whatnot, and just been working a lot. And I noticed that a lot of the videos that I post on my channel can be somewhat superficial. So I like to show you guys what I'm really up to, what I'm really interested in, what I really like to do. And one of my hobbies, believe it or not, is art, gaming, cosplaying, all that stuff. So I wanted to do another video where I kind of vlog my experience. So some of you guys who follow me on my social media may know that I have cosplayed many times. I've done Miss Marvel, Storm, and even Rock Lee. And yes, that's Jake over there is Kakashi. And with MegaCon coming up in Orlando, I wanted to stand out. I wanted to do something bold, and I wanted to push myself to do something difficult. And lately I just kind of been wanting to be the main character of my own movie, because I've been kind of in the background lately and just focusing on work. So I thought, what two characters could help me do that? And one has to be Kid Buu and the other has to be the Predator. And I narrowed it down to the Predator. It's badass. The first time I ever even seen the Predator movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger, I was just blown away. It was one of my favorite movie monsters. I love the creature design. I love the story. I know everything about that movie in and out. So I knew I had to go with being a Yaochua. I told myself if I was going to be a Yaochua, I definitely wanted to be a female version. So the only issue was I have never made a cosplay from scratch before. I didn't know where to start, and I watched a lot of tutorials, and I did not have access to silicone or making my own molds and casting. I have no previous experience with that whatsoever, and some of the tutorials that I was finding were just not it. So I knew I was going to have to basically go to the drawing board on this one. So I went to my handy dandy Pinterest account and started searching Yaochuas, predators, figures, all kinds of stuff that I can find so I can put them in a folder so I can have pictures for reference, because I wasn't exactly sure what I was going to do, but I had some ideas. So just to have something to look at and reference was really going to help me. And this is what I was able to find. And so still trying to figure out how I'm going to do this. So I thought I might get some questions on this, so I decided to screen share what I ordered from Amazon. And I got a wood burning kit, EVA foam sheets, lots of foam clay, like lots. I spent quite a bit of money on that. DIY heat gun, cordless rotary tool, or a Dremel will work. Of course, fishnets. I got 2 different kinds. Zentai bodysuit for me. And this was the only one I could find that was matte. Lots of EVA foam, and then a Zentai suit for my fiance as well. So disclaimer, I did not know what I was getting into trying to cosplay, especially making this stuff from scratch. I had bags and bags and bags of materials and so much stuff that I bought. This isn't even a quarter of the material that I bought. So just so you guys are prepared. Also, I just wanted to give a special shout out to Kamui Cosplay, because I was completely in the dark. I have no experience with any of these things, any tools, using EVA foam whatsoever, and this channel helped me out so much. So if they can do it and I can do it from scratch, you guys can do it too. But definitely use this channel. It will help you so much. They have great tips. Pardon me, I have to get in the mindset of saying husband now, but my husband decided to go with Spawn, and so we looked up some templates. A shout out to Etsy, because I was struggling without their templates. I was able to purchase some templates and start working on the Spawn helmet, and I was using 5mm EVA foam, and he thought that I was going to do everything, but trust me, I had him over here trying to help me out because I was not trying to struggle. I needed all the help I could get. And just to show you guys, the one on the right is my first attempt and the one on the left is my second attempt. So like I said, this is my first time doing it, so I felt like if I did it a third time, it would be even better. So if you're struggling, just persevere and keep going, because I was able to eventually get this with just a little bit more work. And woo Chile, let me tell y'all, I did not know where to start. So I bought this masquerade mask from Hobby Lobby, and I just started to add some pieces of EVA foam until I got this, and it kind of looks like a stormtrooper helmet. But like I said, I had no idea what I was doing. So after that, I quickly started adding some foam clay, and it adheres to the EVA foam with water. And I just kept building until I got this here. And before y'all judge me, I've never sculpted anything in my life, so I was really struggling. Also, quick tip, I wanted to share with you guys these backer rods that I got from, I believe it was Home Depot or Lowe's. I'm not sure, I don't remember, but it's about $7 a bag, super cheap, and I used it for more than just my dreads. It is amazing and a lifesaver, and it's very lightweight. Either way, this is what I ended up getting to, and I could tell it was kind of becoming something, but at the same time I was still a little lost and I felt like it was just a little bit uneven. So the great thing about this foam is you can keep building and building and building, and it dries pretty quickly, and it's very, very lightweight. So I eventually ended up getting this here after playing around for a while, and let me tell you guys, I was so proud of myself because I've never done this. I was super excited, and I thought it was coming out looking like a female Yaochua. I wanted something different, something that was my own, not just like a carbon copy from the movie. And with that being said, I'm also a perfectionist. So every time I would look at my reference pictures, I would realize how off I was. I felt like when I looked at my head, it looked more cartoonish, and I didn't like it. I wanted, you know, the type of Predator that Schwarzenegger refers to as one ugly motherfucker. And I was just feeling like mine was kind of coming up short in comparison. So yeah, that kind of really let me down, but it is okay. I thought just like the other head, I can make mine better. So I went back to my reference, and I really, really like the original. This is the character that I fell in love with. This is the creature design that I was amazed by. So unfortunately, I was a little down, but I was like, you know what? It's fine. We're going back to the drawing board. So I got another masquerade mask from Hobby Lobby, and this one was rounder. As you guys can see, I dremeled the eyes open a little bit more, and I started to sand down the surface. That way the contact cement would stick and the EVA foam would stick. So I was able to start building a new one all over again, and I started to become excited, and I stopped looking at my reference pictures again, and I got a little ahead of myself. So I was kind of ending up with a more cartoony version again, and I was telling myself, you've got to slow down, it is okay. And I started just tearing off chunks from this face right here, and I was so discouraged at this point. I was like, I don't have enough time to make it a third time, but it's okay. I pushed through and I kind of remodeled it, as you guys can see. And because I was frustrating myself, I took a break and started working on the Predator gauntlets or bracers, and this is what I got.
To quickly learn as much as he can from it. He realizes that this technology can pick up brainwaves, which gives some credibility to the theory that these species can interact with their technology through their minds, as they are then tracked down by this four-armed predator.
For those of you guys who are curious, I was listening to Acid Glow. He has a Predator lore channel on YouTube, and it is amazing. He also talks about Alien as well. Anyway, I'm using my wood burner tool here to make this look like screws and just adding some detail. And after this, I decided to go back and give my head another shot, and I'm so glad I did. I got this really cheap cloth material. Honestly, it's like thinner than a sock. It's very stretchy, and I needed something that would give me some like a flexible skin type of material because I wasn't using latex, so I had to really kind of wing this. What I'm doing here is just shaping everything to the face and making sure that everything's even, and I want a very soft, flexible surface to add my foam clay to so that it gives the texture of skin. So after I was able to add that on there while it was still soft, I grabbed some molding tools and I added some lines. I wanted it to have that stretched age skin texture look and feel to it, and it was turning out so well. I was so glad that I decided to abandon the more feminine cartoon version of the Predator, and I decided to go with the more indistinguishable masculine looking one. Obviously, I'm still going to be a female Predator, but I want it to look more like Big Mama for those of you guys who are familiar with the Predator lore, and I was just so excited that I did this. Also, did want to share with you guys how the mask was going as well for Spawn, and I did add some black and white foam clay, and that's what it looks like. Also, I just needed to take a second to show you guys this Flex Bond stuff. is what I was using to seal the foam clay. So when I tell you guys I was winging it, I was really winging it. I've seen so many tutorials on foam clay, but no tutorials on how to properly seal foam clay. So I did come up with this idea here, and I was so glad. Coscom had the most affordable flex bond I could find. So it's not on here yet, but I ended up using it to seal the mask. This is just what the foam clay looks like, dry and dremeled, you know, just for reference. So I wanted to show you guys what my bracers were looking like because I had added so much to them, and I just used some reference pictures from my Pinterest account, and I pretty much just winged this whole thing. All this is EVA foam and backer rods, and I used a little bit of string. I also used contact cement to hold everything together, and I used my wood burning tool to carve all the details in the bracers. So fast forward a little bit, and this is what I had. I really want you guys to see the flexibility of this foam clay. I love working with this. It was actually not that hard to sculpt, especially for my first time. So I was very happy with it. And I did so much detail in the head just to take it off later because you guys know at this point, I'm a perfectionist. Also, this was a complete waste of time. These are my backer rods that I used to make my dreads, and I painted them with gesso because I thought it would help the black spray paint adhere better. No, next time I will just paint them, spray paint them without the gesso because the gesso was cracking. If you do want to attempt this, just skip that part and just coat them with black spray paint. I do apologize for having such spotty videos. I didn't plan on vlogging this, but I did try to capture as much as possible. But I did want to show you guys here. I'm going to freeze frame on the head here. I completely redid it. I wanted it to be bigger. It wasn't matching the size of the mandibles that I had, and the forehead kind of protrudes a bit. And so I wanted it to look, you know, more like the original Predator from the first movie. So what I'm doing here is getting my finger wet a little bit so I can add some water to the EVA foam. That helps for the foam clay to stick. And I was holding my cell phone with one hand and then just kind of sculpting here with my thumb and index. And it was just so easy, and it blends into the other pieces really well, even if they're dry. So I was able to eventually have this, sorry for the sideways footage, but I was way more happier with this one than the first one. So I'm sure you guys remember me telling you earlier that I had to wing it, and I was not kidding. There were no tutorials on how to seal foam clay, so I basically poured some of this Flex Bond on a paper plate, diluted it with water, and did 2 coats all over the entire head. And I was able to get this sealed. It looks shiny, kind of like a plastic toy before you paint it. It did really well. And I did some tester spots on my head with the spray paint, the one that looks kind of tan, the iron lac. I painted my whole entire head with that. And I took a break and decided to work on my bodysuit. Now, my bodysuit was really light, and I'm trying to dye it here with Ritz fabric dye, and it was just not working out, so I pretty much wasted my time. So I thought, because I like to make things harder for myself, that I would go ahead and just utilize all the paints that I have. And I have a lot of paint and even more paint brushes. And so for those of you guys who don't know this, I'm a traditional artist. I have canvases all over my house. I paint a lot of creepy things. This is my Pennywise painting. I also have this 3-foot by 4-foot painting in my living room, and I've dabbled in oils a little bit. So I can paint. That's one thing I was confident in. And so I decided, why not just hand paint my whole bodysuit by myself? And when I tell you guys this took a lot of time, it took a lot of time. I did not know what I was getting myself into, but I persevered. So it went from this and then to this, and I actually have this in a top of a pillow with a trash bag covering the pillow, and then I slipped this over it so I had the surface area to paint. We're going to jump back to the Spawn mask real quick, and please remember that I added foam clay to it, and I sealed the foam clay with Flex Bond. Then after that, I did the painting. So just like my Predator head, I followed the same steps, and I'm just painting to make it look more clean. And right now, the darker color here on the head is the spray paint, and I'm adding some colors so that it'll match my bodysuit. So I went ahead and started hand painting the head as well.
More aliens that have made their way here. He activates doors that are locked by switches that require the use of his wrist blades. Deep within, he is able to learn the ancestral tribes that invade their city.
So, like I said earlier, I guess I'm just a glutton for punishment because I spent so much time on these details and I do not know why I decided to hand paint this whole thing. But you know what? I started, so I was going to finish strong, okay? So, this is what I ended up with, and I had some really like kick ass paint. It was a black paint and it is kind of has a sheen to it, and this against the matte head looked amazing. But I did tweak it quite a bit. I just wanted to show you guys the details here. I was so proud of this head. It was just coming together so well. So another quick trick here. I took my scissors and I was making little puncture holes, and I had a whole bag of zip ties and I cut the ends and I just inserted the zip ties into those holes so that I could get those little spikes that they have. And it was really coming together. So this is what it looked like when I was kind of finished and it was sitting on my counter like super early in the morning, and it looked amazing. Oh, I was so excited. Now, I was far from finished. I had a lot of details to do, and one of my favorite things about the Yaochuas are the necklaces they wear because they like to collect bones, as they call trophies of their hunts. And so I made these out of foam clay and then some beads and string from Walmart. And I did some body armor as well. This is just gray metallic paint. I used elastic bands, and this is just on 5mm, or actually 6mm EVA foam. So I have the leg bracers as well. These were kind of quickly made in a rush. And then also, that's my little baby girl there. She just wants attention while I'm trying to show you guys things. But this here, I just used my wood burning tool and did so much detail. I tried to make like a belt, makeshift belt, and I have little Velcro pieces to attach. I'm not sure what they're called, but I'll show you guys in the next clip. I wanted to make it look as detailed as possible. There were certain aspects about the gear that they wear that I really liked, so I wanted to incorporate it. So these are the bracers after being painted with a metallic paint, sealed with Flex Bond and everything as well, you know, same steps. And it was just really coming together. I was so excited. And then my leather skirt, just got a mixed bag of leather pieces and put them all together and added some beads. And this is my breastplate here. I just went in with some metallic paint and some leather scraps and used some contact cement to glue everything together. So nothing fancy. And this is what it was looking like so far. Don't mind me, it's just being silly, but I was excited. And of course, we cannot forget about all the spawn pieces. And yes, you are looking at Play-Doh. Play-Doh was way easier to use and manipulate than the foam clay. And I also got some plastic chains from Amazon, spray painted those with metallic paint, and then painted the gauntlets and stuff for Spawn red. So I had a lot to do, and I was literally doing this the night before the Comic-Con. Shout out to my friend Liz. She has a 3D printer, and she was able to print that shoulder cannon for me. And I was running out of time at this point, so I did some gloves there. I got everything laid out, everything primed and sealed, and then the dreads added on to my head. So these are all my pieces. Well, actually, this isn't even all my pieces, but I had a lot to do. I also wanted to show you what those look like after they were dried and painted. So this was everything after it's sealed. You know, the zippers make everything easy. This is a close-up of the chains and the skulls after being painted. And we just got some material for the Spawn cape. And then the Play-Doh I used was regular old-fashioned Play-Doh. Just make sure you give it enough time to dry. If you try to use this wet, it will fall apart. And this actually works really good for nails as well. You can glue it or adhere it to the gloves to make fingernails. So I used it for Spawn's hands, and then I used hot glue just for my nails and painted them black. So yes, you heard that right. Those nails are just hot glue. I was done with everything by this point. I was so excited, y'all. Look at this head. It looks amazing. So I just want to jump ahead and show you guys the photos from Comic-Con the next day. Just a cosplay tip, your stuff will fall apart while you're walking around. The glue was not enough to hold these, so I bought a needle and thread with me to walk around with, and it saved my life. I had a lot of stuff fall apart, but it was totally worth it. I also wanted to show you guys a close-up of the stuff. You guys can see the holes I cut in here for breathing, and then the mesh I have over the eyes. I just used a glowing green paint over some mesh. It does not look pretty on the inside. I just wanted to show you guys. I still have the base for this one. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. If anybody wants it, let me know. It is super lightweight, and you guys can see the mask behind, like how I built it. And then the head, I wanted you guys to see it in its entirety up close, all painted. I did as much detail as I could. I even add some drool, and people noticed as well, which made me happy. I would do this all over again. I would love to do this a third time because I think it would come out even better. And I did want to show you guys a glimpse of the inside, that mask. I have some foam there around the face so that it doesn't irritate me, and it's just a lot of foam. This cosplay made me look really tall because the head was just so tall. But anyway, I'm excited for my next adventure, and I'm already thinking about my very next cosplay. So if you're interested, stay tuned and follow me on my TikTok and my other links below. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Bye.